Good morning. Today we are starting with chapter 2, Biological Classification. Now in this chapter we are going to study about organisms in various categories in Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia, and other categories also, viruses, viroids, and lichens. Now since civilizations, they settled the criteria for the classification of the organisms was scientific, but that was born out of need, and the organisms were classified on the basis of food, shelter, clothing. Aristotle was the first person to classify the organism scientifically, and he used simple morphological characters to classify plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also classified animals into those which has red blood and those which did not. In Carl Linnaeus' time, two kingdom classification, that is Plantae and Animalia, came into being. And this system included all plants and animals, but it was not able to distinguish between eukaryotes, prokaryotes, unicellular, multicellular, photosynthetic, non-photosynthetic. So classification, the early it was done, which was easy to understand, but a large number of organisms did not fall into either of the category. So thus two kingdom classification used for a long time, it was inadequate. So later on, five kingdom classification that came into being. Classification system for the living organisms, it has undergone several changes over the time. Plants and animal kingdoms have been a constant under all different systems, and the understanding of which group include in these kingdoms, it has been changing, the number, the nature of other organisms. So finally the characteristics of the R.H. Whitaker, he proposed the five kingdom classification, and the classification he classified the organisms into Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia on the basis of the more fundamental characteristics. So the main criteria for the classification used by him, that includes these basic characters: cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane, body organization, and the mode of nutrition. The three domain system which was proposed has divides the kingdom Monera into two domains, and eukaryotic kingdoms in the third domain, and then a sixth kingdom classification. Now when we look at the five kingdom classification, we understand the issues and the characteristics that influence the classification system. Earlier classification system included bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, mosses, ferns, all these under plants, and the characters where the whole kingdom, that all the organisms included, they were the cell wall in their cells. So this placed together groups which were different in other characteristics, and it has brought prokaryotic bacteria and blue-green algae and other groups which were eukaryotic. So it also grouped together the unicellular organisms and the multicellular organisms like Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra. They were placed together under Alga. So here, on the basis of these characteristics, we can see the Monera, they were prokaryotic, Protista were eukaryotic, fungi, Plantae, Animalia, all were eukaryotic. On the basis of the cell wall, we can see that Monera, they are non-cellulosic cell wall with polysaccharides and amino acids, and Protista cell wall is present in some, not all, and here chitin, here cellulose, and here in animal cell wall is absent. When we see the nuclear membrane, it is absent in Monera, whereas it is present in the other groups. In the body organization, we find cellular or multicellular or maybe tissue or tissue and organ system of organization. When we study the mode of nutrition, we find Monera, they can be autotrophic, chemosynthetic, photosynthetic, heterotrophic, saprotrophic, and parasitic also. In Protista, we find autotrophic and heterotrophic, and in the other categories also till Holozoic or saprophytic mode of nutrition. Let's begin with the kingdom Monera. In Monra, we find that bacteria are the main members, and they are microorganisms. So bacteria, they occur almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in the handful of soil. They are also present in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow, and deep oceans. And there are few other life forms where they can survive. So many of them live in or in the other organisms as parasites also. So bacteria, they are grouped under 4 categories based on their shapes, that can be spherical like coccus, rod shaped bacillus, and the comma shaped vibrium, and the spiral shaped, that is spirillum. So these are the different shapes of the bacteria, can be spherical, rod shaped, spiral, comma shaped, etc. Bacteria structure is very simple, but they are very complex in behavior compared to many other organisms. We find the bacteria, they have a very extensive metabolic diversity. Some of the bacteria, they are autotrophic, they can synthesize their own food, and they may be photosynthetic, autotrophic, they can be autotrophic, or chemosynthetic autotrophic, and many are heterotrophic also. They depend on the other organisms or the dead organic matter for their food. Archaebacteria. These bacteria are special because they live in most harsh habitats such as extreme salty areas. They are called as halophiles, hot springs, thermoacidophiles, marshy areas, methanogens. Archaebacteria, they differ from other bacteria in having a different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogens, they are present in the gut. They are present in the gut of cows and buffaloes, and they are responsible for the production of methane or biogas from the dung of these animals. When we talk of eubacteria, these are thousands of different eubacteria or true bacteria. They are also called as true bacteria. They are characterized by the presence of a rigid cell wall, and if motile, a flagellum. Then cyanobacteria, they are also referred to as blue-green algae. They have chlorophyll, which is similar to green plants, and they are photosynthetic autotrophs. Some of the cyanobacteria, they are unicellular, they are colonial, they are filamentous, freshwater, marine or terrestrial alga. The colonies, they are surrounded by gelatinous sheath, and they often form blooms in polluted water bodies, and some of these organisms, they can fix atmospheric nitrogen in specialized cells which are called as heterocysts, that is nostoc and anabina. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria, they oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, and they use the energy for their ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Heterotrophic bacteria, they are most abundant in nature. The majority of them, they are decomposers, and many of them, they have a significant impact on human affairs. They are helpful in making curd from milk, production of antibiotics, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, and some are pathogenic, causing damage to human beings, crops, farm animals like cholera. They also cause diseases like cholera, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker. They are caused by these bacteria. So bacteria produced mainly by fission, and sometimes under unfavorable conditions they also produce spores. They also reproduce by the sexual method of reproduction by adopting primitive type of DNA transfer from one bacterium to another. The mycoplasmas are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest of the living cells known, and they can survive without oxygen. So many mycoplasmas, they are pathogenic in animals and plants.